For more on the story, let's speak now to SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, good morning. So, quite a bit of drama, if you will, playing out yesterday with the family waiting for the outcome of that court process. At the same time, people already at church because that burial was meant to get underway. But we saw what the outcome was from the court. So, what does this mean? If you could just put all of it into context for us.
Well, I think both parties will have to wait for the court, as it had indicated yesterday, that the matter will be back in August, and they will then ventilate the arguments from both sides. For now, there's no burial, and the morgue can't continue with burial procedures. They will then have to wait when the matter is back in court. Only then a decision, a ruling will be made by the court, who has a final say in this matter. As you know, that the family of Edgar Lungu would want Edgar Lungu to be buried in South Africa. On the other hand, the government of Zambia would want the body to be taken to Zambia to be buried there, and also to accord him a state funeral. And therefore, for now, I think this matter will be back in court, and it will finally be resolved in the courts of law in Africa.
Sophie, ironically, this is almost a deja vu moment, because we saw when the former Zambian president Dr. Kenneth Kaunda passed away, there was a similar sort of situation that played out, where the Zambian Solicitor General at the time also indicated that the president was to be buried. I forget what this cemetery is called now. Embassy.
Assembly.
Yes, and his family said that KK's final wish was to be buried next to his wife Betty at their family farm. But of course, the government then essentially came up and said, well, they could have that body exhumed after it had been buried. But in that sense, it seems like a bit of deja vu.
Well, I think when you look back at the history of Zambia, post-independent, when you look and focus on former heads of state in that country, or the former president or presidents, you'll see that there's always hostility between the sitting president and the former president in that country. You would recall, as you pointed out, the founding father of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda, had problems, and not only after he died, but even after he left office, he was not treated well at times. That even prompted people like the former president of Tanzania, Mwalimu Nyerere, to go and intervene, and he was arrested. And even South Africa had to intervene, and begging, requesting that he be given a government house in Pretoria to come and write his memo, which was indirectly offering him a place where he can receive better treatment. And he was accorded privileges by South Africa, because South Africa felt that he was a founding father of Zambia, and he had helped South Africa to be liberated, and his country suffered a lot. And therefore, that was a way to try to intervene. During one of the lectures, after he passed on, in Zambia, Begi made those points in terms of how Africa must not ill-treat its former president, because he himself, Begi, many people don't know, including the former deputy president, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. There were challenges when they left office behind the scenes. So I think, and then after, then came this moment of another problem set up when he passed on. That matter, how it was dealt with, the acting president, the deputy president couldn't assume office, and then Lungu suddenly emerged. And then now later, when he got into office, Hakainde, who was the leader of the opposition was constantly arrested, harassed. You'd recall he was arrested for refusing to give way for the convoy of the president. And when you read what happened in prison, when he was in prison under the government of Lungu, it was not right. Now he's the president. You have a similar situation where there are allegations that they took the privileges of the former sitting president, that is Edgar Lungu, and therefore that led to a tension that we see today, and that's why the family is saying you took all the privileges. He is not a former president according to you. Why now you want to preside over his funeral? So that's where the problem is.
Well, Sophie, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. Of course, the latest developments in that particular story from SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena.